Hey everybody, it's episode 590 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I am Chris, with me is Drew
Hello.
and Walnut,
Yeah, I'm mostly kind of here.
kind of,
I'm so tired.
at least 25%.
I'd say probably a good 30%.
Hey, that's not bad.
I'm drinking a hot chocolate, so like that's helping me a little bit. So
There you go,
it's
little sugar rush.
yeah. A little bit of caffeine from the chocolate as well. Like it's just a smidge. It might help a bit.
Well, let's just get started. This way you can go to bed. What's on the agenda?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to bed after this. You know that. I still probably won't go to bed till like 1 o'clock. On this week's agenda, we all should have watched the movie Gran Turismo. I was trying to remember what year it came out, and I can't remember what year. 23, you said? Okay.
Yeah.
And then Cobb, you watched a bunch of shows, not necessarily new, but a bunch of new shows and new seasons, whatever. And the reason I am so tired is because I played Gas Station Simulator for 7.5 hours last night by accident.
Oh, that was last night.
Yes, I woke up. I went to bed at 4:30 this morning. And then we had a little bit of a board game night, and we got to play one of the new review copies that I got, Cat vs. Human, as well as a couple of other games that we'll get to talk about.
These things all appear to be true.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess, what did you guys think of Gran Turismo?
I just gotta ask, Drew, why does this movie suck?
Because it's as fucking cliche as possible. It's cliche, beginning to end.
Please, I don't understand. I disagree on the boring part entirely. But I don't understand what you're saying as it was just cliche. I don't get what you're saying by that.
The kid wants to do a thing that the parent doesn't want them to do. The star athlete then gets in trouble the night before the big game, almost misses the big game because they got in trouble the night before. But then also they're not going to make it to the end. Oh no, they might not make it. No, they make it. They win. They fucking made a joke about nerds and eating Hot Pockets. Fucking the first hour and a half of that movie, which is how long it should have been, but then there's another 45 fucking minutes, are just the most rote point A, point B. Here's the same shit in every fucking movie over and over.
You do know it is based on an actual true story.
Yeah, and guess what? Half that shit didn't actually happen.
Like what? What didn't actually happen?
I mean, honestly, the whole my parents don't want me to do the thing wasn't a thing. They made that up because they feel that fucking movie writers feel like there has to be more conflict in movies than there actually needs to fucking be.
I mean, there needs to be drama in a movie like this. So.
Yeah, but guess what? The drama is a fucking race, a fucking car race where people die.
That was the most boring part of the movie.
Well, but I'm saying like they don't need to invent drama when the drama is a thing that just would naturally exist.
See, that's the thing though, is like in his first year, because I did do some searching while everything was happening, the only drama in his actual races, like there was the guy who crashed right in front of him who was absolutely fine because he was being a dick, and then he killed a person by accident. Like his crash killed someone. That was really his only drama in his first year. So yes, you do have to turn. You do have to turn a movie into a dramatized version of what actually happened.
Yeah,
because it's not a documentary.
Killed the person happened 4 years.
Was that 4 years into his career?
If I remember correctly from reading, because I was also looking at his Wikipedia yesterday.
It
happened in 2015 when he started racing in 2011.
I mean,
a movie like this is going to do that too. They're going to truncate a lot of that timeline to make it
100%
feel like, oh, he's only been racing that was his first time on the track and he killed. Like, know what I mean? Like that wasn't what the movie did, but
and like that's one of my least gripes of them throwing drama in. But that is an actual thing that happened. It wasn't like they had to make that up. But also, and I don't know. But I just thought it was incredibly boring, and it's like, oh, here's all the cliches.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I was bored watching it, but it just wasn't my type of movie. Like, I think it was as well done as this sort of movie can be. Like, I don't have complaints over like the way it was made or like the acting or any of that stuff. It wasn't for me.
Yeah,
Rich, I'm actually not surprised you liked it. It's the same guy that did District 9, which I think you also really liked, and
District
I hated.
9 is an incredible movie.
I fucking
But
hate
no,
that
like
movie. It's one of the
I
worst movies I've
I
ever
mean,
seen.
I also like District 9. Like
Oh no, man, that movie was hot fucking garbage.
you need to watch it again, man. It's such a good movie. No,
I
like
think I've seen it twice, and it was awful both times.
I think like I I I don't agree with the cliche. Like I understand your pseudo complaint towards the writing and how like gamers eating hot pockets, this that blah blah blah. But like we live in a world with fucking Big Bang Theory. We've had enough. We've I'm desensitized to that shit. I don't care. It doesn't make me mad to hear that because I've heard it all in Big Bang Theory. It's not a big deal. Like it doesn't bother me to like hear these comments from the general public about nerds because like I agree with the main plot of freaking David Harbour's character of they shouldn't be doing this. I 100% agree. They should not have been doing that. That is racing is dangerous. And like these yes, they train on simulators, but that's not all they train on. They train on the track for years. They train doing go-karts first, and then they go up and up and up and up. They don't just get right into the I mean, it's not the big show, but it's the big show in their style of racing when it comes to GT. Like, I agree with him. And like it's also that level of it's I can't think of the word. But all trainers do this. They neg the people, they talk down on the people they're training to get them in shape. Negative reinforcement sort of thing. Like, I don't believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to prove me wrong kind of shit. So like I understand where the character is coming from. And that's why I don't take and I'm not saying you took offense to it, but I don't take offense to how he was written and how and the scripting. Because I mean that's unfortunately, that's how the general public was going to fucking treat them anyway. That's how I'm sure that's how people treated them. Like, that doesn't bother the hot pockets comment. I laughed at it. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, I
to be honest,
because like, yeah, of course they made that joke. But the thing is, after watching like Drive to Survive and Hard Knocks and like shit about like the behind the scenes in sports, the like bullshit about your pit crew's not gonna like you. No, that's not fucking how sports work. That's like in the moment in the races or whatever. Sure, behind the scenes, no. For the most part, they actually they care about each other. It's giant families more than anything else like that. Then they go out and compete with each other at the end of the day. Will there be the occasional personality clash? Yes, but is it just like you're the fucking nerd boys, you shouldn't be here, everyone's gonna hate you forever until you win? Like, no, that's not how it is.
I mean that's the I don't know. I'd have to do more research on the pit crew's not going to like you. Like that. Yes, they played it as if like, yeah, the pit crew's not going to really. The pit crew supported him, but they also probably agreed with what's his name, Striker or whatever, that they really shouldn't have been doing that. Like it's I feel like the level that you took it and the level that it was meant to be are two different levels. And it wasn't meant to be like your pit crew's not going to like you doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, they're not like, yeah, he straight up said they're not going to listen to you, so talk to me. But it was like, yeah, it's you played a video game. You don't know what you're talking about. You haven't trained for 15 years to do this. You've played a video game. You don't know what any of this likes. It's like, and I agree with that because
I mean, I'm with you. I agree with that, but like he literally said your pit crew is going to hate you. Like, no.
But again, it would require me to look into that to see whether or not his pit crew had his back or was just like there just to get a paycheck. But I mean, yeah, they you don't know the actual dynamics behind it without having had actually been there or looking it up. And it's just because you've seen a couple of these like these documentaries about how like certain sports go and things like that. You don't know what was in people's minds back in 2010 when this happened. 2010, 2011, whenever it was that this happened. The like when tech started to lean more into sports training, you don't know what everyone is going through and thinking. Like yes, Jan is still or Jan is still racing now. He is an incredible racer, and I think at the end of the film it said what over 200 races, and I looked it up. He's still racing now. He's a great racer, which is amazing. And sure, this probably did open the doors for more training on sim, but I'm sure there are still so many people out there that disagree with pulling a a a streamer to race in a GT race. Just as much as people will disagree with the fact that you're going to have a dude come to an open tryout and play football wearing fucking quarterback uh uh bodyguard when he's a receiver. Like it's a little like they're not going to like you because you didn't come up the way everyone else came up. They're going to hate you because you kind of got it easy to get here.
I mean that stuff like that is actually true. I agree there.
I mean, yes, but also like I don't know why you would like. Yeah, I don't know. I fucking hated this movie.
It's an intimidation aspect as well. It is again the negative reinforcement. It's like, look, everyone's out to get you here because they don't think you should be here. So you need to prove to them that you should. Your pit crew, like everyone, your pit crew, this person, that person, everyone's out to get you. It is a negative reinforcement, intimidation to make sure he knows that he's good enough to be there, and now he has to make sure everyone else knows he's good enough. It's storytelling, and it's truncating up apparently 5 years of his race career into one season,
which is actually like I understand why they would do that, but like that is like a little bit annoying just because why, you know?
What? Why truncate it down into one? You're right.
Yeah, like let that actually be spread out a little bit.
Then I mean I'll give you the actual answer. Then the 2 hour and 20-minute movie will be 3 hours.
Actually, yeah, that's true. But I just meant like they don't have to what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have to make the movie longer if they just like show in the movie like 6 months later, 12 months later.
It then becomes less of an underdog story if it's showing that he spent time training between a lot of these races. If it looks like he's doing them within a month of each other, like a month apart from each race, it builds that idea of the underdog story. So
actually, that's fair.
If you turn around and say, "Oh well, actually the Nuremberg crash that killed someone happened 4 years into his career," you're still going to feel bad for him, but you're not going to feel bad for him because that was only his sixth race in the movie, whereas it was probably, I don't know, it was at least his sixth race, but it was probably like more like his 20th or 30th. You still feel bad.
Like, how many races do they make in a season?
Oh, so I mean, he drives a lot of different, or did drive in a lot of. Okay, yeah, he drove in a lot of different series. That Nuremberg ring crash is like his 100th race.
Yeah. So
okay, so yeah.
Well, honestly, well, one thing, real quick. Sorry, he gets that podium at Le Mans before that crash happens at Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm. I looked it up. He wanted that included because I'm sure it did affect him. His crash killed a person. Like,
oh, I mean, for sure.
Like, it just, and like it helped build a story.
Also, like, I've seen plenty, and I can agree with it too. It's kind of shitty to include a thing where random person, like, did they really need to include that thing where spectator is killed? They probably
I guess it does actually add a little something to it, I would say.
It builds upon his character development, and it was something he wanted included because it built upon his career and it's something that affected him, that it was a formidable thing within his life and his career as a racer. So like my counter argument is, and like this may be a bit of a stretch, but like if that didn't actually happen, would you be upset about it? Would you be upset that they included that if that wasn't an actual event? Like if the whole conflict of that race was him crashing and killing someone and that wasn't something that actually happened, would it be uncomfortable to include that in the race? Or is it just uncomfortable because of the thought of, oh, somebody actually died, but I didn't see that person actually die in the movie because they didn't use the actual footage from the race.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't need to kill somebody in general. Like, I don't.
But then that's just a crash.
He could almost die. That's pretty fucking traumatic still. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that
Yeah,
crash was harsh.
it was a terrible crash. But
that
like
crash is bad enough alone that you could easily be like, oh yeah, fucking, it's hard to get back into a race car after that shit.
I get that, but also it wasn't about his fear of his own life. It was about the fact that somebody else died. Like that was what got him. That was what messed with him, was the fact that someone else died. If he was he was already in several wrecks throughout the race and he kept racing. That was a bad wreck for sure, but no one ever got hurt in any of the wrecks that he had been in until then when somebody died. That's what got him. It wasn't his body, it was somebody else's.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're not wrong. I still fucking movie. Like,
I don't know, I thought it was fun. I thought it was incredible. I liked a lot of like the as they were showing the races and showing like the positioning and they were doing like the PlayStation noises and stuff whenever that would happen.
I also fucking mostly hated that.
I could have done without the constant lines on the track from time to time. I was like, obviously that's not like I know what you're trying to show, but like you did it one too many times.
Like, I didn't like it wasn't always bad. There were times where it was like, did you really need to do it? Like, it is useful in the storytelling to be like, okay, now he's in 7th, 6th, 5th. Like, they didn't overdo it later. I felt early on they overdid it. Like the running from the cops part. That was the time I fucking hated it.
The running from the cops part was a little low much. Like you that is not Gran Turismo at all. You don't run from the cops in Gran Turismo. There is no objective to run from the cops in Gran Turismo. Why did you do that? Like that part was like probably the silliest part to me. They really didn't. They could have cut out the car chase and just had him come home to his dad, seeing he was out there.
Right.
Like they had gone out. And like that car chase dynamic could have been just, they didn't need that. It didn't influence whether I liked or hated or thought he deserved to be in the race, because like honestly, I truly agree with the idea that like this they probably shouldn't have done this, but in the sense that the movie showed it, where they went into 4 or 5 races after only training for several months. Like, in the sense of how it actually happened, and apparently it took him a couple of years or whatnot. I don't know when the actual 24-hour race was in comparison to when he started racing, but 2 years. So it took him 2 years to get to that point. Like, yeah, it's I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I thought they did some decent storytelling. I thought it was fun. I think it sits fine at that 70 rating. That like it's not the greatest movie in the world. It's not the worst movie in the world. It is a good, like, it's a solid popcorn flick. If you're into racing and motorsports, or you are a fan of Gran Turismo in general, you might actually enjoy this. If you like the story of what happened, you might enjoy this. If you generally like based on true event sports movies, you may like this. But like, there's a lot, in my opinion, to like about it than there's more to like about it than there is to hate about it for this movie.
I think it for me it was mostly generic as far as like quote unquote sports movies go. Like, there was nothing that stood out. I was just kind of bored a lot. I do agree. Like, I think as a movie, it probably, like, that 70 does seem fine, because there really wasn't anything like wrong with it. It just isn't my kind of movie. Like, my personal rating is like a 2 out of 5. Like, I got no enjoyment out of it, and like, that's fine. Like, it's not a movie that I expected to enjoy. I think cars and racing are pretty boring. So
Mhm.
other than the few times where like the crash, like everything that from the crash and like the immediate like aftermath of that, like that stuff I at least thought was like, okay, like there's like tension and build up here. All this stuff just related to the actual cars and racing and spots and training, like I did not give a single shit about it. But like not again, like I said, it's not a bad movie, especially like it's based on ish, like it's video game adjacent, and those are not often good.
It's not video game adjacent. It's not. I know they even say based on the Gran Turismo, in that it's not based on Gran Turismo because Gran Turismo is a racing sim game. It's not. This movie's not
That's
based
why I
on
said
Gran Turismo.
that's why I said it's video game adjacent because like it's connected to the game, but it's not a video game.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was solid. I thought the acting was good. I loved everyone that was in it. Um. I will say. What's his name? Uh. Davies. One of the kids that helped him in the final race. He was head to head in winning. He won by like a tenth of a second or whatever, or he lost by a tenth of a second in their final race for GT Academy. Um, am I the only one who thought he was Dave Franco a few times?
I never thought that. So no,
He
I mean
he
like
he acted and spoke like Dave Franco in the season 9 of Scrubs several times. That I was just like, that's not fucking Dave Franco, is it? It's not, but I thought it was at one point or
yeah that
another.
and like I may have just like not been checked out, but just not been like focused on it enough to notice that. But yeah,
Mhm.
that never clicked for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid movie. It was also like Cobb, you probably never played Gran Turismo, and
Nope.
a lot of the tracks are tracks from the Gran Turismo games because they're the official GT race tracks and things like that. And the only one I really fully recognized was the Nuremberg Ring, and as soon as they showed it, I was like, it's the Nuremberg Ring. And that track is just incredible in general. Cobb, do you know anything about the Nuremberg Ring?
No. No, I don't know anything
It
about racing in general.
it takes roughly 10 to 13 minutes for a single lap. So 6 laps in, they were already racing for an hour.
And how many laps is it usually?
I don't know. I don't know if that race is ever finished. It's just always going on.
I
Well, I mean,
don't.
like in
Well,
general, because at one point they said how many laps there were to
Well,
go
it's
with them.
so with racing in general, it's the lap count is based on of how many miles they have to go. So the Nuremberg Ring would be less laps because it's a longer track.
it all
Okay.
So
depends. I mean, it depends on the discipline. So, like the race they won, they get the podium in the 24-hour of Le Mans is not. It is literally. It starts at 3 p.m. on
yeah,
Saturday. It ends at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Whatever car finishes the most laps in the 24 hours win.
hmm
So,
Oh
I
wow. Okay.
yeah, like it's not a who finishes 100 laps first. It's what car can survive the loss.
yeah,
That's the endurance. So I
yeah.
don't what driving a GT race or an Nuremberg ring when crash happens. Uh, so I don't know that they were doing the. Oh no, okay, it was an endurance race. So okay, they maybe were doing the giant track because Nurburgring has the giant full thing and then like a smaller GP track.
They were doing the giant one for sure. Like that's what Gran Turismo has in the game. So that's what they would have been showcasing for in the movie.
I mean, it has both.
Does it have both?
It's always had both. Yeah.
I've only played the big one.
I mean, it's had the
It
small
is
one because Formula One used there.
it is also many years since I've played a GT game. Um, but yeah,
I've never played
they're
one, so there's that.
they're great. Like I never got my dad would get really into the weeds when it came to like the story mode because it's a sim game. You adjust everything before a race. You adjust your shocks, your brakes, your the pressure of your tires, or this or that, the blah 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 blah. And like I don't know well enough to do any of that shit. But like my dad would get into it and like I'm sure they would guide you a little bit. And that's where like all right, this idea is viable because like all right, they're racing it and so they know when to adjust the tires and this and that. But like you don't actually feel the track. Your car just changes in the game. Like you don't feel it when your car moves and adjusts. So it's It's a
Well,
weird concept.
I mean, when you're playing on a controller, no. When you're using one of the more highly detailed
Yeah,
like sim setups, yes, you are.
when
Like not exactly, but the force feedback and stuff in the wheel and the pedals gives you a much better sense.
Yeah, when you have like the $1,000 setup or $10,000 setup. Gran Turismo. I thought it was good. I liked it.
That's good. I'm glad one of us enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't think it was a bad movie, just not for me.
Mhm.
So I guess that leaves us with picking a new theme,
Yeah,
right? Because that's all the themes.
that's all from. That's all the. Oh man, why am I blanking? Oh, it's all sports movies, right? That's what we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, that was the last of the sports movies. So I'd come up with a theme last week or last time we talked about it. I don't know if you want to do that one or if you guys have another theme that we can do.
What was yours again? I forget what the other one was.
It was remakes of or not remakes. It was sequels of older movies, like modern sequels of older movies. And the
Right.
examples I gave are I can only think of two at the moment. I'm sure there's a couple of more. But it was Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore, the golf one, Billy Madison, right?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
Happy
Gilmore,
Gilmore, yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2. And the other one was Independence Day Resurgence. But like, I don't know if you can come up with my pick would be Happy Gilmore.
Well, so here's my question. Do we want to do that, or I believe there will be 2 more book clubs this month?
This one, yeah,
Yeah, technically.
we'll record on the 17th and the 31st. So,
Do you guys want to do 2 rounds of unconventional holiday?
unconventional holiday movies.
Yeah. Like, you know how
Do explain.
people always call like Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh yeah.
So like movies that would be like set in and around the holiday, but like aren't Rudolph or Love Actually or anything like that. Like aren't movies that like are actually considered Christmas.
Besides Die Hard 1 and 2, can you think of any others?
So I as we were talking, I pulled up a list. Technically, and I don't want to do this one, Prometheus is technically yeah. There is apparently a scene of Idris Elba decorating a Christmas tree in that movie.
So
but you also have movies like sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I just if we're going to do this, we're not 25 days of Christmasing this shit ABC Family bullshit and doing Harry Potter because there's 2 scenes of Christmas in it. It has to take place during Christmas time and just not be a Christmas movie.
I also will refuse to ever watch the Harry Potter movies.
I wasn't going to ever suggest Harry Potter. I was just using that as the best example because I always thought that was bullshit that when ABC Family or Freeform or whatever the fuck it was at any point in time did their 25 Days of Christmas, Harry Potter was included in that because there's a Christmas scene. That's not a fucking Christmas movie.
Name 23 other Christmas movies.
They
need to throw something in there that's popular.
give me a week and I can name you 25 Christmas movies with minimal research. Research.
So, Lethal Weapon, I believe 1 is a Christmas movie.
Huh.
Like it's either 1 or 2. One of them, literally, the opening of the movie is Jingle Bell Rock. Oh, Erica just confirmed it's the first one. The movie opens with Jingle Bell Rock. There's a shootout at a Christmas tree lot, and yeah, like there's a whole bunch of stuff in that movie that is like very much set up, kind of like Die Hard is. Like the same way Die Hard is a Christmas movie, like because it's set during Christmas. Lethal Weapon, same deal. Only like Christmas is a little more prevalent throughout it because it's like it's not just a holiday party. It's like it's. I want to say that movie takes place over like a week or something like that, and like the whole thing is like it's Christmas season. So like the Murtauls are literally getting ready for Christmas.
We could just rewatch Gremlins again.
I mean, yes, Gremlins also would count. I didn't say Gremlins because obviously we watched that one not that long ago. But then like there are some like quote unquote horror slasher movies like Black Christmas is, literally it's called Black Christmas. It takes place over Christmas.
I feel like that doesn't count. Christmas in the title.
I I mean,
You just don't want to watch a
it's
slasher movie.
it's a Christmas horror movie, so like I get it counting for this, but I also get it not counting for this
But
because
like
like
it's too
it's
much themed around the holiday.
well, I mean, I guess why? So my counter argument or my argument for and against Black Christmas would be, what is the villain? Is it because they're naughty kids and Santa's coming to get them that they're getting killed or whatever? Or
No,
is
no,
it just because
it's a
just a
slasher movie.
random I know, but like is Santa the killer is what I'm saying. But or like is it just like
Oh, Eric, you
people
made
are
a great
just
point.
being killed?
Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie.
I don't know that one. So
They're
like
relative. The Terrifier movies are relatively new. It's the weird clown-looking guy.
mm,
Unfortunately, I would not recommend we do that one. You guys would hate it, but also 2 or 3 is a legitimately direct sequel of 1 or of 2. I mean, so whereas like you can watch 2 without watching 1 for the most part, you definitely can't watch 3 without watching 1.
They're horror movies. None of it matters.
There's a narrative because basically the first movie had very little plot. It was just Art the Clown murdering people. So in the sequel, they actually gave it a plot, and then they carried that plot on into the second one, and actually even tied in the first one to give the first one a little bit more plot. They're fun. They're fucking gross, but they're fun. But it sounds like you guys might be on board for this,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the other one for January or to start in January. Well, let's do Lethal Weapon for the first one because it looks like actually let me see if the trial still exists.
so would Home Alone 1 and or 2 be considered a Christmas movie, or would this fall into this line of non-Christmas Christmas movies?
So I would argue that Home Alone is a Christmas like 100%. Like
Okay,
because to be fair, I'm pretty sure Home Alone, one of the like 3 movies outside of Harry Potter gets played on Freeform.
probably. I don't know. Probably. It takes place around Christmas time. It's not about Christmas.
I mean, in a lot of ways, it is though. Like it, at least I mean, the second one is straight up him trying to protect the Christmas for the fucking dying children from the burglars, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
it
guess.
does look like there is a trial for AMC Plus. I'm just trying to confirm if that's actually a viable way to watch Lethal Weapon. AMC Plus does not like to like show up correctly for whatever reason. Man, come on, Google. Oh, I guess it's no longer on there. That's a bummer. What's Philo?
It doesn't have a trial.
I've never heard of it before. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
$8 per person.
I'm looking at
Jesus, $33 a month? The fuck do
yeah.
you for $33 a month?
God knows. I would
All right, well,
what is Philo, man? Why is it showing HBO shit on here? I don't even know.
I'm having the worst time finding movies that are actually like on streaming services now that I've recommended this. I found a bunch of movies that are like that fit, but none of them are just like streaming places. Come on, streaming platforms. Stop being greedy. On Netflix?
No.
No. Google pretended it was.
I mean, it might be not in the US though,
Oh, true.
and I don't have a VPN anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, that's a bummer. Well, I'm back to square one, everybody. Let's you know what? Let's move along, and I'll circle back before we finish with a proper pick.
So, I mean, moving along is you.
Yeah, that's why I figured like let's move along a little bit.
Well, it's you're up with your shows you watched.
Yeah, I'm just making a time. All right. So yeah. So I was going to talk about 2 of these a couple weeks ago, but we had a bunch of other stuff to do, and then PAX happened, so it kind of got put off. But last month we caught up on a couple things, including the second half of Wednesday season 2, which we had watched the first half in like August, I think, is when it aired. And the second half only came out like a month later. Like there wasn't a big gap. And it was like the last like 5 episodes or what have you. Anyway, it was decent. I feel like it kind of retread a lot of the same ground as the first season in the back half. And it definitely included the family a whole lot more. Like it became more of an Addams Family show than a Wednesday show. Which like wasn't a bad thing because like they have a good cast for all of that, but it also made some of like the plot threads just feel a little like not necessarily like wrapped up in a satisfying way. And it does end on a cliffhanger, which is fine. Like we knew going in that there was going to be another season of it, but it just made like there were a bunch of different things going on, and they kept kind of like sidetracking one thing to do a different thing. And then so like when it came to the final big bad, it was just like, oh right, this was a thing from like the beginning of the season. Still like a fun show. Like I would definitely say if people watched the first season and enjoyed it, it's definitely worth watching the second season. Just don't think it was quite as strong as what else? Anything else about that? No, that's probably it, honestly. Like it was completely okay. I enjoyed some of it, and other parts just fell a little flat in that second half. But then we also caught up on the fifth season of Only Murders in the Building, which you'd think after 5 seasons the entire kind of point of this show would get a little long in the tooth, and it has, but they're also like acknowledging it inside of the show. So there's a couple times where like they accuse a person and the person just runs away. Like they don't like wait, like like in any of those sorts of like whodunit things, when somebody finally gets accused and like they're caught, they just kind of accept their fate and get arrested. In multiple circumstances in this season, somebody would get accused, they did actually do something wrong, and they would just run away because like the two 80-year-olds and the 132-year-old female are not necessarily going to stop them. And like the characters actually even say like, how has this never happened before? Why don't more of these people run away from us? We have zero authority. We're literally just pointing a finger and saying, haha, you did it. So it's nice that they're kind of like making fun of themselves a little bit because it does help keep it fresh still.
Yeah.
And even the season even like, so every one of the seasons of this show ends on like a cliffhanger. And it's the cliffhanger for like what comes next. So like every season they find a new dead body in the building. And they even had this one wrap up in a way where it's like, so like one of the other characters kind of calls him out. It's like, oh, like you guys can't cover this because they didn't technically die in the building. And everyone is like the three core members are just like, well, like they're like on the sidewalk outside the building, so that kind of counts as the building. And like it wraps up in a way where like it does make a little bit more sense than that. But they just generally, I think, do a pretty good job with this show. Some of the earlier episodes of this season were a little less like honed in as they have been previously. But they also kind of brought it back, like I guess like smaller scale in a way, because like the last like 2 seasons, I want to say, were definitely like much larger. Because it was 2 seasons ago is where they introduced Paul Rudd, and most of the season was like kind of outside of the building in a lot of ways. They were like at like a theater because they were putting on a show. That's how Paul Rudd got involved. And he wasn't Paul Rudd in it. He was playing a character, 2 characters actually. And then last season, I want to say, is the one where their podcast had been picked up for like movie rights. And so a lot of that season took place also kind of out of the apartment. It was like they were like in LA for like a stretch of it, and just a lot of back and forth in that one. And this one really, other than when they have to make excursions to go like search down clues, it really is like focused on the building.
Yeah.
The only things that, yeah, the only parts of
shows
the previous seasons that were like building centric were like people did die and were found dead in the
shows like that. It does seem to be a bit wild that like they do last so long until before they start being tongue in cheek about like like that's supposed to be more of a comedy drama, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Probably more
it's
comedy than anything else.
absolutely
And
more
it's just
comedy,
like
yeah.
all this shit happens to these people, and like yeah, they're somehow in 5 seasons, so in 5 years they've solved 5 murders or whatever. Like you need to at one point or another figure out like maybe the characters are the problem sort of thing, because that's how the 911 shows are. 911 they now have a running joke with Athena, Captain, who's like one of the main characters. She's known for bad luck, and no one should ever travel with her because anytime she travels, something fucking happens. and like her plane is gonna crash. Her boat gets capsized. Her fucking space rocket that she got sent out on gets knocked off course. Like they do need to lean in on that at some point or another and be like, well, you are bad luck, so no one's ever gonna want to be traveling with you. And so like it's good that they're leaning in on that, but it's just like at one point or another, shows like Only Murderers, and honestly even shows like friggin' 911, they have a shelf life of like, I don't think shows like this should go more than 5 or 6 seasons, because at that point it is unbelievable how much bad shit happens to or it's unbelievable how many murderers these random podcasters can solve.
Yeah, and it is a thing where like I think even from like season 2 really they've leaned into the fact that it is a little ridiculous that like it keeps happening and they keep getting involved.
Hmm.
And it's not just like your 3 core people. Because in theory, like they do this podcast and they kind of show in this fictionalized version of the world, there are other people that do these true crime podcasts that like they're not just reading like researching stuff that happened and like doing it the way real world true crime podcasts do it. Like they're out there actually like going on site and investigating shit. Like they are some sort of investigator.
Hmm.
So like it fits this world a little bit better, I'd say. But like the characters in the apartment are very much acknowledging like you guys are bad luck. Like you're the ones that are always involved in this stuff.
Yeah.
So it has been kind of like a running theme throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there is that, but it's a fun show regardless.
Yeah. It's a comedy, so they're always going to get stuck in ridiculous, stupid situations that no one would ever actually get caught up into.
Exactly. Fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
Fun nonetheless. And then the last thing we watched is The Paper, which is the spin-off of The Office. Well,
Hmm.
spin-off sequel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Actually, not bad. Better than the first season of The Office.
Yeah.
Whether it trends from there, who knows? But like the first season of The Paper, I think was better than the first season of the like the U.S. Office.
It's honestly not that hard to be better than the first season of The Office.
It's not,
Um,
but being that it's like a follow up thing, you never know.
yeah.
Um, but
Well,
it
they learned their lesson because Michael Scott was an absolute asshole the first season of The Office.
and so there are people in this that are assholes, and like, but it's not like your manager person. Like they've
Yeah,
kind of
they're.
like like you haven't watched it yet, right?
I haven't. I've heard nothing but good about it though.
Yeah, so like when Erica and I were watching it, we were actually trying to figure out like who characters kind of like potentially mapped to.
Hmm.
And it's hard in a lot of cases because like you have a few characters that like don't fit any one person. They could kind of be a couple people.
Yeah.
Um so like they're like you have Donald Gleason is like the editor of the newspaper essentially. And like he's kind of like bumbling and doofy the way Michael was, but without the like super cringiness that Michael had. But there's a few other characters that kind of like have that cringiness themselves. Though those characters are a little more malicious also. So like there's not a ton of one for one, but it's still it's still interesting what they're doing with it. And like this, so the setup ends up being the documentary crew is revisiting the documentary, and they go to the show actually opens with the old Dunder Mifflin building, and they go in, and their office is now like a LASIK office.
Hmm.
And they end up talking with Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration, who like kind of fills them in on things. And it turns out that a company that makes toilet paper and then owns a bunch of other like subsidiaries that deal with paper bought Dunder Mifflin like 5 or 6 years ago, and then
Yeah.
like closed all the offices. So the documentary crew then goes to Toledo, Ohio, where the company that bought them is headquartered to like talk to people there. And while talking to people from this like toilet paper company, they somehow end up interested in the newspaper and decide to follow the newspaper for a new documentary. And Oscar works there.
Yeah.
Which like he is like the one direct connection to the original. And literally in the first episode, when he sees the cameras, he like screams and goes, "No, no, not again! I don't consent. You like, I'm not okay with this. I will not be part of this." And they actually flash like little like black cue card things on the screen. It's like his 2005 consent form had no expiration date. Like he will be part of this. So that that's a fun little thing. And I forget there's one episode where he does. I think he makes like a Sudoku puzzle for the newspaper, and he's actually on a call with Stanley. They don't show that actor, but like he calls him by name, asking about the puzzle to see if he had seen it and tried it. So like they are trying to like reference the other characters from the original series, but not necessarily making them like direct parts of it, which is good. They're trying to let the show kind of stand on its own while just acknowledging.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it's a spin-off sequel. Like it's more of a spin-off than anything else, but it is part of a sequel, and it's just now a completely different organization that they're following that can get into some crazy shenanigans. Because honestly, I would be shocked if Dunder Mifflin were still around in 2024, 2025.
Yeah, I mean that is very fair, and it's not. It's Toilet Paper Company now.
Mm-hmm.
But like that, I was a little surprised at like actually how good that first season was, because like the first episode felt like a little rocky. And I'm like, okay, I don't know about this. But like as we kept watching, like I'm like, okay, no, you know what? Like they're doing something different. And like some of these characters are actually pretty funny. Like I like where it's going. And I saw it already got renewed for a second season, so at least it'll get one more season. From there, who knows? But I know it was a show that they premiered on Peacock first, and I don't think it actually started airing on NBC proper until after all the episodes had released on Peacock. So I don't know if they'll keep that trend or if they'll like simul release it or something next time, but worth checking out if you like the original Office.
Yeah.
And those are the shows that have been watched. Also Bake Off, but that show is just wholesome and nice to watch.
Yeah, that show's just great. It's great.
Now, Rich, I believe you played like something like 13 hours of some gas station game last night.
Almost 9 hours, 8.9 hours on my first sitting, and apparently got like more than half the achievements from playing it. Oops.
Oh, wow.
That was not my intention. But yeah, so I played a game called Gas Station Simulator. So yesterday I was getting ready to stream, and I am in the midst of Chapter 3 of Expedition 33, which Chapter 3 is just literally explore the world and then go to the end when you're ready. And so I'm in the middle of the exploring the world, and I needed a game yesterday to turn my brain off. So I decided to not play Date Everything, because like you still kind of gotta think and make choices. And a Gas Station Simulator was a game that I'd been on my wish list for a while. That I had watched a Let's Play of a while back, and it was on sale. It was $10, and like let me tell you, if you like sim games where you have a job, honestly, this game is great. Like you just shut your brain off and do what they tell you to do and get it done, and it's just it's great. So it starts off where all you have is the gas pump. Then eventually you upgrade enough to where you can sell stuff out of the storefront for the gas station. Then you can upgrade it to where you have a mechanic shop. And I just got to the point where I can upgrade it and have a car wash. And all of the upgrades, like having the shop has different items you can sell, having the mechanic shop has different repair work you can do. It starts off with tires, scratch fixes, and rear window or rear mirrors. And then it goes to like oil and then battery. You have to upgrade your warehouse to make it bigger. You have to keep the place clean. Eventually you have to hire employees. There's you at one point you fix a bus stop, and now I get at night party buses to stop by. And they're all people dressed in like different lizard and alien costumes. And it's chaotic and hectic. But I finally got to the point last night, at like 3 where I was able to hire employees, and so I got to hire employees, and I was able to like expand more of the gas station and stuff and clean things up while my employees were working. And then it became quarter after 4, and somebody had popped on the stream, and I was like, and they live in the UK, so it was like 7 o'clock for them, something like that. And they're just like, go the fuck to bed. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should do that. I have to be awake for work in 3 hours. And yeah, so I eventually went to bed. But yeah, it's just there's some features I'm like I could do without. Like there's a little stupid kid. He's Dennis the Menace basically, who will like spray paint your shop. And it's a pain in the ass to deal with him because like you have to throw stuff at him. But if you're keeping your place clean, you're not going to have anything to really throw at him. Um, and then there's the mini game for the warehouse, for the workshop, for the mechanic workshop. Those are just not fun. Specifically, so you have to replace the tires, and so you take the tires off the car, and then you take the lug nuts off, then you take the tire off, then you put the tire back on, and then put the lug nuts on. You don't have to do any proper pattern or anything. You just go around in a circle. But it just takes so long, and the area to click to take the lug nuts off are just so small that I'm like, this part isn't, this aspect, this mini game isn't fun. So as soon as I had the ability to hire an employee, I was like, you are doing this because I don't like it. Um, but like I would end up then getting stuck on the cash register and serving fuel all day. And so I was like, all I'm sitting there is running the register and serving fuel and then coming back, and I would not be able to explore. So eventually I had to like mess around with my employees and do the job I hated doing. I start doing the workshop job because it happened less frequently than customers buying stuff, so that I could like clean up and deal with all the other incidentals that are going to happen. Um, yeah, it's a fun, quick, silly sim game that like is just dumb. In the first the tutorial content and the tutorial stuff teaching you how to play, your uncle, who is basically like a mob boss, he hooks you up with some money to help fix up the shop and give you the ability to what's it called? Give you the ability to sell materials and expand your warehouse and stuff. And he gives you a loan, and then he's like, well, now you got to pay me back, and the game only gives you 5 real life minutes to pay back a $5,000 loan, which is next to impossible to do, I'm sure. Like I wasn't able to do it. And so I was just I couldn't do it. So then somebody comes and beats me up for the money. And then your uncle calls and he's like, yeah, that was a mistake. They shouldn't have beat you up. They didn't give you enough time. So, yeah, you now don't owe us any money, and we'll just make it all good here. Like, I'm sorry. Um, and yeah, so it's just you trying to build up a gas station, and you can like customize it and make it look different colors and paint it and this and that. And just, I'm more than halfway through the upgrade track, and it was just something fun to turn my mind off.
Yeah, so some of those sim games are like surprisingly fun.
Yeah, it's that like I was talking about it while I was streaming. It's like it's the idea of doing the monotonous, non-thinking labor that really just refreshes your mind. And it's something like that where like it feels good to complete this stuff in game. So like not only are you just doing something to just dull out your mind and not really think, but it also just feels good to do it because of the noises and the rewards for getting this stuff done. And it's just like for me, especially when I'm playing games like Gas Station Simulator or like Timberborn or City Skylines and stuff like that, it's hard for me to find a good stopping point because there's always something to do. And once you get done that, then there's something else to do. Like, that's why I was up. It was just like, I constantly kept looking at the clock. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I should probably call it soon. Well, I need to do this, this, and this first. Oh, now I got to this point, so I should do that. Well, now I have this point. And then it was like, one of the last things I did was like, all right, you have to complete this challenge. I'm like, well, I want to finish this challenge before I call it. I don't want to be mid-challenge. And finishing that challenge ended up taking me until like 3 o'clock. And then it's like, well, I I was like, well, now I should just buy the like make sure I'm stocked up and buy the the car wash. And so I bought the car wash, and then there's more stuff to do with that. And then like the day-night cycle is just like I only have enough employee space right now to have 3 employees, so I have 2 on during the day and 1 on at night. So at night, I still have to be doing stuff, while during the day I could be like looking around and stocking up and things like that, and like have more downtime. And so it's just like, all right, well, I can't do it during the day. I can't do it at the nighttime, so I was only able to do stuff during the daytime. Yeah, it's just I get lost in these games, and that's what they're made for. They're made for you to just get stuck in the moment in a sense and just get lost. And yeah, I love these kinds of games. I really do. I've been watching. There's a YouTuber named Z1 who's been playing Planet Crafter, which I thought about buying Planet Crafter, but they just got a new expansion out, and so like I was like, that was going to cost me $20 to get that and the expansion. And I want to play the expansion more so than the rest of the games. I was like, I'm not going to do that one. And then there was another YouTuber I was watching called Fooster, who he was playing car sales simulator, or like car dealership simulator. And I was like, this actually looks really, really like fun, and I could get into it, but I think I decided not to, because like it was a little too much for the kind of game that I was willing to spend on.
Which I can understand that.
Yeah, I think if this is the one that he was playing, I believe it is. It was $20, and then like $20 is not that much for a game that I'd easily put hours into. But I'm like, should I pay $20 for this, or should I just pay $10 for Gas Station Simulator and buy a game that's been on my wish list for how long now? And yeah, and there's a couple of DLCs that I might be able to get, or that I might get eventually. Just not right away.
Nice.
If ever at all, honestly. Total amount of DLCs is $42 worth of, or it's $50 before any sales.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different DLCs in it. So I would have to look into what the DLCs are and if they'd be worth playing. But yeah, it's if you like, I was also looking into getting like Supermarket Simulator.
Leaf blowing simulator just came out.
I've seen Leaf Blowing Simulator. That one doesn't pull me in. Like I've also played what was it? It was a one shot on my channel. Spray Paint Simulator, which is, I believe, made from the same people who did the Power Washer Simulator. And that one, it was satisfying, but it was boring. Like, getting the dings felt good, but otherwise it's just sitting there holding the button and spraying. And it was just kind of boring.
Oh, see, I really like Power Wash Simulator.
I mean, maybe I'd like Power Wash Simulator more than I liked Spray Paint Simulator, but it's just I don't know, it just didn't really.
I mean, they're kind of this. They're kind of the same. Like I couldn't. I obviously I can't confirm it, but like for Power Wash, it is still very much like you hold down the button, though you can like toggle it so that you're not like cramping your hand holding the trigger all the time. But like Power Wash also at least has the like the stuff that you're cleaning is huge after the first few rounds. Like
well, Spray Paint Simulator. Spray Paint
Sorry,
Simulator, the first level was a car. The second level was a kitchen.
So like the fourth level of Power Wash Simulator is an amusement park, or something like that. Like things that like in whatever level is the amusement park, there's literally a carousel that you have to turn it off and on to actually be able to clean everything. So there's a lot of like strategy to it, because like you'll turn it on and actually ride the carousel around, and then hit a switch to turn it off so that you can like do stuff from like up high. But there's also like you're changing nozzles in that, and you're adding soaps, and like there's a whole bunch of other stuff to it. So, and I don't know if Spray Paint had the same deal.
I think I only got into level 2, so like it had paint, and you had to charge your battery, and you had to tape up the windows and the walls and the spaces you weren't going to be painting and stuff like that. And it was just, it didn't really feel like, and like I said, I only did 2 levels, but it didn't really feel like there was a point to it because you did have to buy materials while you were still playing like each level. And so like there was no fail condition besides just running out of money. And that to me I was
Right.
like, all right, well that's kind of boring as well. Like I can't the only way to for me to fail is to run out of money. I can't like accidentally spray something the wrong color and then lose ranking or anything. No. And there's no time limit or anything like that either. It's just go ahead and do it.
I mean that is also how Power Wash is. Like there is no fail for that game. It's just do you give up if you can't find stuff? Because at certain points, like there are things where it took me a few hours to find this one spot I missed because it was such a small spot and it was underneath something in a huge map.
Hmm.
And like the thing that you can do to like highlight what's still dirty is only great if like you happen to be in like the right angle to see that. It doesn't like point you at it.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. It's just I've been on a sim game kick and I still want to buy Supermarket Simulator. I don't know why I'm so interested in playing that game, but it's just like again, it's like you're sitting there, you're checking people out, you're hearing the beeps, the noises, you're taking cash, and it's the management sim aspect of it as well of stocking up and knowing what to sell and raising prices and stuff like that. That's the like probably the only complaint I would have about Gas Station Simulator is the only price you have to control is your gas. Everything else is sold at a flat rate. And in order to make a better profit, you should buy it when it's in the green. If you buy it when it's in the red, you still make a profit, just barely as much, if any at all. If you buy it in the green, you make a better profit. And so like that's like a little bit of a management uh 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 strategy that you're trying to do is like you're trying to overstock on items that are in the green so that when they are in the red, you have them and they don't run out and stuff like that. But you have limited warehouse space. So you need to make sure to have enough warehouse space to bring in stuff that you need that you ran out on. So it's but I'm at this moment I'm bringing in consistent money that like I don't know if I can fail at this point unless I really severely screw up.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun, silly game that I'll definitely play again.
Good. Good. Let's see, what's next? Board games? Board games.
Yeah,
Which one do you want to start with? Cats vs. Humans?
sure. Let's start with Cats vs. Humans. I got a read copy of Cats vs. Humans from Jason Anarchy Games. It is a sweet little adorable card game where it is 2 to 4 players. It doesn't take long to play, about a half hour. Setup is very easy. And basic round structure is every player gets 4 cards. There are 3 cards placed down on there. Every player gets 4 cat cards. Each cat card has a certain a number and a certain amount of icons to represent what that cat does to torture the human. You then have to look at the 3 human cards that gets played down, and from left to right until that card is won, you have to basically sort of gamble on how many points you're willing to put down to win that card. So player 1 plays down their card, and as long as it matches the icon that is on the human card, you get full points for it. If it doesn't match, then you can play it upside down and you get 1 point for it. Otherwise, if it does, you just play it and you get however many points are on the card. So player 1, say they place 3 points down. Then player 2, they can decide, oh well, I've got a card for 4 points that I can play. Or, I have a card for 2 points. Maybe let me try playing like the smaller one and see if I can get away with using the cheaper cards first. Because each round, like I said, is 3 human cards that get placed down. You only get those 4 cards. Now, there's different aspects and features of the cards where you can like get more cards not in your hand, but get to play more cards. If you get lucky, like Cobb's wife did, where she got to play like 7 cards in a row. Sometimes that happens. But for the most part, it's you play 1 card, each person goes around. If you pass, you can't play on that human card anymore. If you don't pass, you can keep playing. Once everyone passes, you tally up who played the most points. They get that human card. You then go to the next human card without drawing any more cards. The goal of the game is to get 5 human cards and to torture your human 5 times first. It's fun, it's silly, it's cute, it's quick, it's small. It's like I would consider it sort of a press your luck type game. Um, but not in the aspect of like a game like Flip 7 or Yahtzee would be press your luck, but more in the idea of just like you're kind of guessing and trying to read your opponents and to see whether they're bluffing or not if they have more cards they can put down. If it's worth it for you to put the higher tier card or to save your card that lets you hold on to it until the next round. Stuff like that. And it's really cool. It's really quick. Drew, I think honestly you might like it.
I mean, it sounds cool.
Yeah, it really is one of those. It was easy to kind of pick up and just go with. Like I
Yeah.
think by the time we were done the first round of like the first like the I don't even know if it would be round or not. Like the first human, basically. I
Yeah.
think we all had a pretty good grip on how to play the game.
Yeah.
Because it really is. It's just like, okay, like if your symbol, if you have a card that matches the symbol, play it. If not, figure out what you want to do.
Then either don't play it or don't play it upside down or pass.
Yeah.
And so like there were times where like you might not have anything for the first 2 cards, but you have a lot for the last one. Or you may have things that work for 2 different cards, but you need to see and gauge where everyone's at. So maybe you won't play for the first card, but you'll play for the second one because people will have already had played for it. And maybe it'll like let you save some points for the third card and stuff like that. It's really like trying to guess and figure out how your opponents are going to play or will play. Like to me, if I were first, I would be less likely to play the higher number because I'm sure other people are going to play higher numbers if they're going to want that card. So I'm like, let me play the lower number first and just see where things go. And if I can get away with playing just a 2 and nobody else wants this card, great. But if I play a 2 and somebody else plays a 5, well, you know what? Then they just used a card, and that's also good too. Yeah. And then there's just like different rules. If there's a tie, then it actually, if 2 players tie, then it goes to the player with the next highest number. So it won't go to there's no like, oh, well, you both get points or you don't get points. It's somebody else gets it then, which was really cool. And like the cards and art kind of give me like sort of Exploding Kittens vibes where it's like each of the cards are just silly. Like I pulled the box out and one of the cards is Get Educated and it's the cat reading Sun Tzu's Art of War. Or it's another one is a cat that looks like Garfield dancing on a it's a brown cat, not an orange cat, and they're dancing on a wood fence and it just says Enjoy Mondays. Or another card where it just says Sue for Food and it's a cat giving a notice of complaint to their owner for not feeding them. Stuff like that. It's just like some of these silly looking cards that they have in it that like if you pay attention to what they are, it's like that really wins the game. It's just like some of these silly cards that you have to do. And then like just running down the list of the cards you played in order to determine who how you tormented your human more than somebody else. And like we said, Erica got at one point there's a set of cards called Zoomies where if you play it, you then draw the first card on the top of the deck, and if it is a card that matches the symbol of the human card and has a Zoomies card, you pull another card from the top of the. You keep playing them until you run out of Zoomies.
That was Nuzzle. Zoomie was the
or
one
Nuzzles.
that you
Yeah,
hold the card to the next round.
Yeah, Zoomies, you get to hold on to it till the next round if you don't use it. So there was a lot of time. At one point, I think I had a hand of 7 because I just kept getting a lot of Zoomies cards. And it didn't help me win. I think Erica won. I think.
Yeah, she
can't remember. Yeah, and then it's just like the tokens, the little like character tokens are just little cute wooden cat tokens. There's a first place token that we didn't really remember to use pretty much at all the entire time. Yeah, and it's a nice, quick, easy, fun game. It's definitely a board game that I will bring to like pretty much any gathering or game night because it is so easy to teach. Like the box itself, I believe says 10 plus, but if you got a smart kid at like the age of like 6 or 7, you can definitely play this with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun. There's going to be a video up about it in about a week or so. So definitely check that out when that goes up.
And then what's next on this here outline?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we played Mysterium.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you were looking, so I have it up. I was just going to say it.
Yeah. And so this was you have played it before.
I have played it before. Drew may have also played it before.
I've never played Mysterium. It's a game that's very high on my list of want to play.
I thought you might have played it at Eric's once because that's how I played it at my brother's. But yeah, it's Mysterium was a very fun game, where you have one person playing as basically the spirit of someone who had died, and they are trying to give you pictures in your head of a person, a place, and an object. You go up the list. You first have to guess the person. When you guess the person right, you move up to guessing the place, and then you move up to guessing the object. Each player gets their own person, place, and object on the list of cards. And at the end of it, the spirit will then give pick out 3 cards that are to resemble a person, place, and thing that one of the players has. And then at that point, you then as players have to try to figure out who done it, basically. Who did it with what and where. So like Clue, but with ghosts. And no game board. Just a DM screen. And yeah, it's a really fun game to like try and both get into the mind and try to pick and piece together what the player playing as the spirit has seen in these cards to resemble one thing or another. And it's always like you can go as minimal and as like niche as possible to as broad as you possibly can. I got lucky and I guessed all 3 of mine on my first guesses with each. So I got the most points by the end of it. Actually, I almost didn't. I almost missed out on some of the points because I was guessing wrong at one point you can vote whether or not you think somebody got their guesses right or wrong. But yeah, it's a fun game. The art's really cool. Me and Erica won. Cobb lost.
Wait, what? Oh, right. I'm like, no, I got through the end. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I did. I guessed wrong.
You guessed wrong. Me and Erica guessed the right person, place, and thing. And whether and yes, my theory as to what the person, place, and things were was probably wrong, but also sort of right, and it worked because I guessed it right. But yeah, it's a really cool, just like sit down and think and guess, kind of like what is the other person thinking kind of game.
Yeah, definitely not a game that you want to play with like total strangers though too, because you at least need some sort of idea how somebody might think, because like some of the cards trying to like associate with like which like person, place, or thing, like it was tough. So I think it was when it came to like the thing. Rich, you and I for mine both definitely thought it was the vase because like the flowers and all.
Yeah.
But it was actually the
an iron, like
the
iron, like
iron.
A pressing iron.
And it just happened to be that the thing that they picked had a bunch of iron railings in it.
Yeah, everything they picked for the cards, because he gave you 3 cards, every one of them had iron. He gave you a card that had paintbrushes, and it all had like the metal rims around
metal
the
on it.
Brush. The another card it was like a wrought iron fence, and then the last card he gave you was like a scuba suit, like an old school ancient scuba suit. And like afterwards he was like, yeah, it's because all the metal that was in everything. And I was like, you threw me off because scuba suits are bronze, man. Scuba suits are not iron, they're bronze. Yeah. So I saw this and it looked like all flowery and round, and that's what made me think the vase.
Yeah. And then I pulled out the Gunsmoke one, like, because like the 3 cards for that all had like haze on it and stuff like that. I'm like, is this like the smoke of the gun?
Yeah.
And that ended up being right.
That was a great pull, man. That was a great guess. It's Mysterium was such a fun game. It'd be really fun to play. It's really fun to play, and it'd be really fun to play again for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely play that one again. And like they have that other one, it's Mysterium Park that I think takes place at like a fair or an amusement park or something like that.
Mhm.
That also looks like it could be kind of cool.
Mhm.
So, options is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is we finally finished Pandemic Legacy.
We finished Pandemic Legacy before December. Well, I mean, December is the last month you play in the game, but we finished it before December in the real life. So we won Pandemic, and we
Yeah,
won
with
actually too.
less than 12 months. Well, we middle of the roaded it, let's say. We completed December on the second shot.
We completed both objectives.
Yeah.
That's really all that matters to me. I like shit was bad, but we completed both objectives. It got we almost completed it in the first half of December. So in Pandemic Legacy, in the last month, all of your objectives gets wiped, and you only have two specific objectives. One of them is to vaccinate all the cities that have the special zombie, um, dealio, the
Coda.
special zombie virus, Coda, and then the other one was to find all of the find the hidden Coda documentation. Um, and we almost found the hidden Coda documentation. We just needed like one more turn because in order to search for it, you need to be in Atlanta with cards of a specific color and multiple cards of a specific color to move your tracker up. And the issue was getting us to all have cards of a specific color. However, we were able to vaccinate all of Coda. So the second half of December was just like, all right, as long as we keep pulling any color that would be Coda, we're good. And we did. We got very lucky. I think we only had like one or two. I don't think we had an outbreak at all in the second half of December. I know we had two outbreaks in the first half. I don't think the second half we had a single one, and we were able to keep control of the diseases that were going around and find everything because we already did the other objective. So it was done, which is nice.
Yeah, and like I think it's funny that like basically once you wrap it up, you're just straight up told it's like, okay, like add all your stuff up, and if you're like depending on like your total points, that'll determine like how well the world fared. And we really did kind of fall like right in the middle. And
Mhm.
like there were a couple of things that like had they just gone slightly better for us, we definitely would have landed like one tier higher. And
Yeah,
there
like
was even one.
wasn't there something we lost 100 points on?
Yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but like there was also one other thing where like we could have potentially had 100 points, and it was just none of us could remember for sure how something went, so I didn't give us that 100 points.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we had apparently potentially we had opened the wrong thing at one point, I think is what it was.
yeah, we opened like a box when it should have been a door or vice versa.
Yeah.
Um, so like not the end of the world, but like yeah, we were in the we eradicated the disease, we stopped the bad guys, but it's still going to take a long time for the world to rebuild. And I think it's
Yeah.
like one tier up would have just been like, yeah, you stopped so 100 points up, I should say, is basically like, yeah, you stopped everything, and within like a couple of years, the world's back to normal. And
Yeah.
like ours was like a couple decades. Still better than the other two where it was going to be like a century before the world would be back to normal, and the other one was just like, yeah, no, everything's fucked. Like the world has
Hmm.
just collapsed. Like humanity may never be the same again.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I definitely enjoyed that. Kind of how that all went, because like there were some months where we just fucking flew through it. Like we cleared the objectives, no problem, finished it on the first half of the month, and then there were other months where it we got to like the bottom of the deck before it finally failed, and because like that was like the fail state was we ran out of cards to draw, and like that those ones sucked, and I think the couple times that happened, it was like early on too, and I think we were just like we hadn't quite figured out like a good process for like getting those objectives done. And then when it would throw new objectives at us, we're just like, well, shit, how do we do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, fun time. Like definitely enjoyed playing that one. Looking forward to like not having a legacy game for a little while. But enjoy the legacy games. Like they're definitely fun to play through.
So I just looked it up. The box that we opened, box number 8, was the box that was only supposed to be opened if we had 4 consecutive losses, which I don't think we had.
No, we never had 4 consecutive.
So yeah, and those cards, which we used because they were one-time use, it had 3 one-time use cards where it literally said on the card, like, tear it up once you use it. What
Oh
you
yeah,
play after an epidemic is drawn. You increase the panic level in any city and discard the epidemic card without taking effect. So we used them. We shouldn't have opened it. So that might have potentially, using them, might have actually potentially kept us from getting the actual 4 losses in a row. But yeah, so it was what it is. I just looked it up to see what that box 8 was. Because yeah, we ended up opening box 8 instead of door 8. And door 8 was permanent roadblocks we could have placed, which we didn't really use the
right.
roadblocks anyway.
But I think part of the reason we didn't use the roadblocks was because they weren't permanent, and similar to
Yeah,
when we were playing through Jurassic World, like not having stuff like that be permanent just made it a little less like enticing when there were other things we could spend on. Like
yeah.
it was more valuable to make like a starting research station that we
Hmm.
could like spawn in and travel between than the
Yeah,
roadblocks. Erica actually just said she preferred Jurassic Park over Pandemic.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
think Jurassic Park was done really well. Jurassic Park like had a lot more of the like reward or had a lot more of a reward aspect to it. We also won more of Jurassic. I don't think we lost Jurassic Park a single scenario.
I you know what? I think we actually lost. I think we failed one of them. But Jurassic Park was different in that if you failed, you just moved on. You didn't redo it.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
never redid any scenarios. But like, I would also say that like Jurassic Park had a benefit of it was more recent, so it got to look at what some other legacy games had done, including probably Pandemic. So I'm gonna say Pandemic Legacy is older than Jurassic World.
For
So
sure.
it's like, okay, like here's the stuff that worked, here's the stuff that didn't. Let's make a game that like incorporates the stuff that works. And
Yeah.
I think they largely succeeded with it. Plus like
And also Jurassic Park was a lot more of a community game, whereas everyone does their actions at the same time. And
and
like you
yeah,
there's like an action token, there's an action counter. Each person has 2 actions, but you can do things in different sequences. It's not a round the table type of thing. So it created more of a community aspect where you had to talk and discuss what to do, whereas like each person had their turn and you could talk with the person to do their turn, but like if eventually that person might not be taking their turn because other people have other plans for what their turn may or could be to optimize. And by other people, I mean me. And people's turns, I mean your wife. I'm sure I've taken over a few times, and I feel bad about it.
but like also like Park or Jurassic World, it had the benefit of like when you were doing stuff in like the different areas, you were actually doing stuff. So like there was a little bit more game to the game. So
Hmm.
with Pandemic, like what you playing the dispatcher, like a lot of your turns involved just like, do you mind if I move you? Okay, I'm moving you. And like
Yeah,
Erica's turns were, all right, I'm gonna walk into this area and cure all the diseases.
yeah,
And with Jurassic World, it was like, okay, I'm going to go into the power station. I now have to flip these stupid fucking breakers
coins
and
and
hope that I get it. Or I'm going to go into the warehouse or whatever it was and play this little like box moving game. And there was the like the circuit game that you had to do, like all those mini games that came off to the side of it that
yeah,
gave you there were things to do along with the objectives that impacted the game, and like you had to do some of those things to even play the game. I think in
hmm,
theory most of the objectives we could have done without the power for the most part, but without power we lose a bunch of like resources like electrified gates that keep the dinosaurs
no,
from.
no. Any of the all mini games needed power.
Did all of them need the power? I thought it was.
I think it said specifically like you cannot do a mini game unless you have power.
I thought some of them were okay. It was near the end that it like the that when you needed all that like the cameras and stuff. But you might be right. It was over a year ago at this point.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah. Jurassic, I would agree with Erica. Like I think Jurassic Park was actually better than Pandemic.
yeah.
I don't know if the
I
Pandemic games got better as like the seasons went on, but
The other thing is like Jurassic Park aided itself in maybe in everyone trying different characters, whereas like Pandemic, once you get into a flow, you're all using the same character, and so
That's
like
true.
it
There,
wasn't until the last round that it was like, all right, let's try somebody else, and then we only needed them for the first half of December, and then the second half we needed the old character back to do a lot of trading because like that's a lot of what the game is move like if you don't have the medic in any pandemic game, not just Legacy, in any pandemic game, if no one's the medic, you're going to lose. It's that simple. And then like the dispatcher is always a good call because they could reposition people and move people around, and then it's the trading one that Matt generally was. And then like it kept you being like you had the option to like switch people around and change up a lot more. But at one point or another, it was like, you know what? Placing these quarantines for free anywhere is just so useful that like there's no other like there was less optimal characters to use that might have been a little bit more optimal in certain scenarios, but not in the scenarios as to when we were getting them because we were clearing all the objectives the month they showed up. None of our search objectives lasted more than that month that it showed up.
no, we had one that did.
Did we?
Yeah. Because it wasn't required to like win that month.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like you're right. Like Jurassic Park really did like there were reasons to try different characters in a lot of cases. And the game also forced you because there were certain scenarios where it's like, cool, you can only use these characters that come in that month's module or that game's module.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know, like I feel the couple times we tried different characters, it didn't really benefit us. Like I tried the 1 month I did like the Colonel or whatever because we had to do a bunch of military based stuff and we thought like
Mm-hmm.
having another military character would help. We ended up losing super quickly because that character just wasn't as useful as he seemed.
Yeah.
Whereas like you having that dispatcher made it super easy to make sure people got places because of all of the movement options that existed in the game.
Yeah.
And it saved the three of us from having to waste actions doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Erica having that medic healer character made both keeping the board manageable possible.
Yeah.
But also as soon as anything had a vaccine, her just being able to walk through the spaces, which is cool, but also there's no real like strategy or anything to that anymore either. Like the most strategy she had would be like in that last game trying to keep like the Asias from outbreaking and having to
Yeah.
like kind of plan her movements there and then also planning getting back over to like Europe when that area started getting awful.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's not really any like that's just movement stuff and there's not really any like strategy to that. It's just how am I going to get from point A to point B the quickest? And
Yeah.
at least like in Jurassic Park it's like okay, I have to get over to here, not get eaten by a dinosaur, and also do this little mini game in the handful of actions I have before like we run out of turns essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah. So good time. I'm glad we got through it. I'm glad the world didn't end.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice. It's basically at this point in our pandemic legacy is like the post-COVID era. Minus we didn't have zombies in real life. Or did we?
Debatable.
Have you been to Kensington?
All right. So with that out of the way, I have two potential picks for the uncommon holiday movie.
Okay.
So this I'm gonna leave this a little bit up to you guys. If you guys are up for spending $4 to rent Lethal Weapon, I say we do Lethal Weapon. If you don't want to rent Lethal Weapon, I have another one. But I will let you guys decide if you want to spend $4 first.
I don't mind spending $4 to rent Lethal Weapon.
Drew, how do you feel about it?
That seems like one I wouldn't be 100% opposed to spending a couple dollars. Just
Okay.
out of curiosity, what is the other one, though?
Edward Scissorhands.
The last third of the movie takes place at a Christmas party.
Yeah. But like I think Lethal Weapon would be a fun one. And
Yeah,
I
don't think I've
I have
ever
not
seen
seen
Lethal Weapon.
really.
I don't think so.
It's a good one of those movies. Especially the first one. I think like the first and the third or fourth are the better ones. Not the fourth, I'm sorry. The fourth is one with Chris Rock. That one has moments, but overall, like that's the one where like Danny Glover going, I'm too old for this shit. It's like, no, dude, you really are. Like you were telling us you were too old for this shit like 9 years ago, and you're still too old for this shit. But cool. All right. So in 2 weeks we'll do Lethal Weapon, and then yeah, we'll figure out another one from there.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else either of you guys would like to talk about, or is that going to be a show?
I got nothing.
I think that's a show. I think that's
All
a show.
right.
Well, I may have Expedition 33 to talk about next week, but probably not. Depends on how long it takes for me to get through the end game content. So maybe in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well,
But I've got a lot to say about that game. It's so
okay.
good.
Well, in that case, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. We are also on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our blue sky is at one-quest.com. You can also send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, which, Rich, I believe you're posting one of the things over there.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The review / how to play of Cat vs. Human.
Cool. And then what is your streaming looking like?
Twitch.tv/b_walnuts for video game streaming, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Expedition 33, whatever I decide to play on Wholesome Tuesdays, Sea of Thieves. And there's a little charity cookie stream next Friday, the 12th, where I'm going to be baking cookies live on stream. And if you donate, every dollar you donate enters you into win a box of cookies made by me. If you're not from the United States, I'll just send you a $20 gift card to an online store because I cannot ship them overseas affordably.
That is very, very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, because I know I have a couple of viewers and friends that are from overseas, and I'm just like, I cannot send you cookies. I am sorry. It's going to cost me $100, I'm sure, minimum. And who knows if they'll still be good by the time they get there. So
that is true too.
Yeah,
that is very true.
That's it. That's my streaming stuff.
Nice. Well, with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.
Bye.